So once again, we're running from the rain in South Dakota. Yes, my neighbor hooked his truck up to that boat, and it started raining. So we loaded our stuff in the Mistress and headed to Wyoming. Now, years ago, I had read in a book about a high-clearance four-wheel drive trail that led near to the bottom of Bucking Mule Falls and made it a fairly easy hike to get to the falls to see it from the bottom looking up. And that's where we were headed. Now, I'm sure a lot of you have never even heard of the Bighorn Mountains, and rightfully so. If you live in a big city, there's a good chance that your city has a larger population than the entire state of Wyoming. So the Bighorn Mountains are wild, and they're largely undeveloped, which makes for some of the most scenic mountain wilderness you can ever imagine. And if you've never heard of the Bighorn Mountains, then I know you've never heard of Bucking Mule Falls. Bucking Mule Falls is out in the wilderness. It's probably the tallest waterfall in Wyoming outside of Yellowstone. Roughly 1,000 feet tall, there are trails that get to the overlook side looking across the valley at the falls, and there's trails that lead to the top of the falls on the falls side where you look almost straight down the falls. But the only way that it's accessible from the bottom is rugged, and it's a long way in, down a long canyon. But that's where we're headed. At least that's what we thought. So come on and ride along with us and enjoy the scenery of the Bighorn Mountains. And while you're at it, don't forget to smash that like button and share this out to others and subscribe to the channel so we can take you out on more adventures. We're out in the Bighorns of Wyoming, and we're on a Jeep trail. It's been closed. I was told because of too much surface damage. So far we haven't seen any real reason for this road to be a closed road, but yeah, we're only a quarter of a mile in. I've been wanting to see the bottom of Bucking Mule Falls for, God, 10 years. And I'd heard about a high clearance Jeep trail. I ran into a Forest Service guy who said that 4 years ago they closed that trail down. So we're going on foot. We'll check in a bit. Well, unless we come to something really radical. So far, we're not seeing any real good reason why this road's closed off. It was twisted all the way to the... This is jeeping on foot. Okay, so this is what Jeep hiking's all about. You go as far as you can in your Jeep. You use your Onyx maps, you find someplace cool that you can hike to. And at that point, you leave your Jeep behind. Power of nature, baby. Wow. So our first trail in Wyoming that we haven't been met with a locked gate. Ooh, this is deeper than I thought. Oh, that's not exactly terrible. Well, folks, it was looking like we'd finally found ourselves some Wyoming wheeling. Now, the Wyoming off-highway vehicle map said that this was a level 6 trail. We were hopeful, but we were only 100 yards in. And so far it wasn't living up to our expectations of a level 6 trail after wheeling the Black Hills. But we were hopeful that it was going to turn into something more than this. Now, folks, I'm here to tell you that the rocky sections of these trails, the boulders were round and smooth. Tires rolled over them very easy, unlike what we're used to in South Dakota, running creek beds and river bottoms with lots of large boulders and shelf rock climbs. No, this was something different. This was about equivalent to a good section of Colorado Interstate. In fact, I think that this was smoother than the Colorado Interstate. I don't know, what do you think? You think I-25 and I-70 through Colorado should be nominated for Badge of Honor trails? I think possibly so. And kudos to the Forest Service in Wyoming for making such a smooth road out in the wilderness. But if you were looking for hardcore wheeling, I don't think we're looking in the right place. Now, I'm not saying that there isn't any in Wyoming. We just haven't found it yet. Now I have to say that despite the fact that we came out here to wheel, we were really enjoying this. That enormous Wyoming sky, and that crisp mountain air, sunshine, top off. But you know, just when you thought the road couldn't get any smoother, it did. Man, this was like riding on the super slab. Colorado, take note of this. If only your interstates were this good. Now this is smooth. Yet every time we talked about turning around, we'd come upon a little rocky section that would give us hope, just enough to keep us going. So we pressed on, in hopes of finding a good, difficult wheeling trail to bring you guys some good footage of the mistress doing her thing. We didn't know it yet, but we were about to have an abrupt change of scenery. Just around the corner, we didn't know that we were going to wander into some high mountain marshland. Now this water crossing didn't pass the tree branch dipstick test, being nearly up to the windows deep, and extending for what looked like 100 yards. We decided this was not the proverbial hill we wanted to die on.
How marshy does this look?
Remember, we drove it here, and we have to drive it home.
I don't know, the water's pretty yucky.
Recording again. This is kind of clay. Yeah, we're going to stay to the true trail, not take somebody's place where they cut the trail. My filming's probably turn a lot of people's stomachs. I'm here, I'm there, I'm over here. Out the window, I'm over the road. Yeah, I'm gonna hand you the can. It's still felt. On this trail, not that big. But it's got a nice water crossing. Yeah, we came all the way to Buffalo, Wyoming and got ducked. Yeah, so we're going to give a shout out to Ruby in Silverdale, Washington.
Thanks for the duck.
Who ducked us. A lot of people are like, what's with the ducks? Well, the ducks are just kind of like a playful way of saying, hey, I think your Jeep is cool. There's rumors floating around about swingers groups and stuff like that. No. It's a playful way for people to say, hey, I think your Jeep is cool. Some people get all bent out of shape if you leave a duck on their Jeep. If you want to leave a duck on our Jeep, leave a duck on our Jeep. We won't be offended by it. It's just a polite gesture of saying, hey, you got a cool ride. I don't know if I filmed any of that, but we're going up on a ridge out of the mud, out of the marsh. That's a first. And I gotta tell you guys, this is the first Wyoming trail that we've come to in the Bighorns that the gate wasn't shut and locked. We're just gonna see where it goes. It's rated as a trail 7 rating.
7 out of 10,
but so far what we've seen is more like a 2 in South Dakota. So we'll see. And of course we got Rhea driving for a little while. You know.
I'm practicing my driving.
So far, the scenery is really beautiful. The trail is, let's just say it'd be a real nice
Walk.
I wouldn't say walk. It would be a real nice overlanding trail. If you want to bring your rig all set up with camping gear and come back here, you're not going to beat it to death, and you're not going to have all your stuff scattered inside your camper or your trailer so far. Like I said, they rate this as a 7 out of 10, so we're going to see as we go along if it gets any gnarlier, or if it's just kind of a level 3 South Dakota trail.
We had been out driving for about 4 hours and hadn't seen a soul. And then all of a sudden, we had this random guy in a side-by-side out in the middle of absolute nowhere. Only person we had seen all day. You never have that in the Black Hills.
Oh, you see a trail. Okay. Now, how to get there from here? Yeah. Well, this one, I think it just loops down. Goes down here. Okay.
Silly woman. Oh. Your finger was blocking the hole. According to the Wyoming OHV map and on X, we were on a trail that headed down the valley and up the mountain on the other side. So we pointed the mistress that direction and headed out.
Hey, we might be getting into something here. A little bit of the bud. Yes, she did. Don't pop the clutch and try to start it. It's way too low of range. It'll just jerk us into the windshield. And crank her up. You have no power steering when your engine's not running. Hopefully they have time. Follow the trail. That looks like glacial deposits. Very large river rock for glacial deposits. This was creek bottom at one time. Oh yeah. Yes, I see that. This will be a prime spot to do a little detecting. See if we... Hey, we got a creek crossing down here, looks like. I did see where that trail went up the other side of the creek. Hang passengers. Hang passengers. Motor vehicle. Yeah, let's stop and take a look around.
Now what we found when we got out to take a look around was a blocked trail with one of those brown Forest Service posts marked closed to wheeled vehicles. Exception, snowmobiles. Open to snowmobiles. But this place looked rich. There was signs of glacial deposits, which are often associated with gold. So we broke out the gold pans and proceeded to take some samples. However, all we found was a lot of magnetic black sand and not one single speck of the color we were looking for. But the scenery was phenomenal. And we did find that trail that we were looking for, although we had to walk up to it. But that's a trail for a different day. We'll come out
Hi.
we'll explore it again. We'll come from the other side and see what's
You
over
weren't on
there.
camera.
Hopefully we find that level 6 trail again. We hope you enjoyed this ride along through the majesty of the Bighorn Mountains. And we hope to see you again soon on another adventure. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel.